Skyscrapers rising, roads transforming, ports expanding, all built by China. But behind the concrete and progress lies a deeper question. Is this real development or a new form of control? Let's start with the basics. Neocolonialism is not about soldiers and flags. It's about money, influence, and control without direct occupation. In Africa, neocolonialism appears when foreign powers use economic pressure, loans, aid, and political deals to maintain control long after independence was gained. And in the 21st century, many believe China has become the newest player in this game. Over the last 2 decades, China has poured over $150 billion into Africa. Highways in Kenya, railways in Ethiopia, ports in Djibouti, skyscrapers in Nigeria. It's all part of China's massive Belt and Road Initiative, a global infrastructure strategy to connect China with the rest of the world, including Africa. Chinese companies dominate mining, oil, and construction sectors across the continent. In many African cities, Chinese-built projects are now the backbone of development. But here's the problem. These projects aren't gifts, they're mostly loans. Critics warn that China is using debt trap diplomacy, a strategy where countries borrow billions, struggle to repay, and end up handing over strategic assets or political influence in return. We've seen it before. Sri Lanka had to lease out its Hambantota port to China for 99 years. In Africa, countries like Zambia are deep in debt. In 2022, Zambia defaulted and had to restructure billions in Chinese loans. Kenya's standard gauge railway, built by China, and struggling to turn a profit. The concern is, when countries can't pay back, what will China demand in return? But not everyone sees this as neocolonialism. Supporters say, look around, China's building what the West ignored. They argue that Africa needs infrastructure, and China is the only one willing to build it, fast and affordably. Unlike Western aid, China doesn't lecture about human rights or impose harsh reforms, just business. In fact, many African leaders welcome Chinese investment. It brings roads, jobs, and trade. But you know, every deal comes with a price. Chinese firms often bring their own laborers, limiting local job creation. Contracts are frequently opaque, hidden from public scrutiny. And many African countries now owe billions in loans with rising interest. Critics argue that this leaves Africa vulnerable, with China gaining long-term control over resources, land, and policy decisions. In 2018, China offered to forgive some African debt, but it raised another question. Why give out unsustainable loans in the first place? So what's the truth? Is China helping Africa rise or holding it back? Is this true partnership or neocolonialism in disguise? The lines between aid, investment, and control have never been more blurred. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is this debt or development? If you found this video insightful, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into Africa's global relationships. Until next time, stay informed, stay empowered.